once again. Hopefully this is all working according as planned, as we all love the planet. Ailing, of course, always first in the chat. Wonderful to see you. Throwing on performance mode now, so we don't have to worry about any shenanigans that may pop up. Yeah, this is working, I'm pretty sure. Ghostly Flower, hello as well. All of my friends here, here before I'm here. Thank you, one and all, for joining us at Level 1 Adventuring. I am your host and game master, Wolf Scott. You're about to hear the normal intro that you normally hear if you're not new. What is Level 1 Adventuring? We are a tabletop role-playing game channel. We do a lot of different types of content. We run long-form campaign videos, usually on Wednesdays, systems like D&D. And we also do solo adventure nights, where I run either solo RPGs or RPG video games. We just like to have adventures. We like to have adventures, we like to eat beans, we like to hang out with our stream dragon named Beans. It's a good time for everybody involved. Shout out to StreamSpell and Streamlabs for hooking us up with the cool layouts that you just saw on Beans. You know what's funny, Ghost? I actually had a bowl of beans today. And I was very tempted to post something on the Discord. Hey, which, by the way, nice shout out, nice segue, me. You should join the Discord. And like us on all the things. The YouTube channel's been getting some nice hype lately, posting some shorts. That's been pretty fun. But we could appreciate all the support that you would love to give us, and we'll give it right back to you, babies. But yeah, shout out to and Tabletop Audio for providing the cool, spooky backing tracks, which hopefully you are hearing at a decent volume right now. I am also eating bean. It is bean curd. Oh, okay, that sounds good, actually. Yeah, this is a pro-bean channel. That's one thing you gotta know going in. Don't bring any of your anti-bean slander to Level 1 Adventuring. That's one thing we've learned very early on. But what are we doing today? We are going to be playing... Those of you who saw the stream title probably already know what we're doing. I saw Bean Bread on TikTok. Bean bread? Like bread made from bean? Or bread made specifically to be eaten with bean? You know? Is there like is this a type of cuisine that I'm not familiar with? Like bread made out of bean. Okay, I've never heard of such a thing. But I bet you I'd like it. I don't know. I'm kind of like a garbage disposal. I'll eat anything. I mean, like, you know, you might, yes, please send a link to bean bread. But for those of you who saw the, it sounds cursed. For those of you who saw the stream topic, and have been here before, you probably know what we're doing. We're playing a little game called Rune by Spencer Campbell. What is Rune? It is essentially a Souls-like solo RPG. It's designed to give you the experience of playing through one of the super unforgiving Souls-like games like Dark Souls or Elden Ring or Bloodborne, all that fun stuff. And yeah, you travel a realm, you defeat bad guys, you die a lot, you're reborn, you try it again, etc., etc., etc. And we're picking it up tonight because our last session through was pretty harrowing. We're pretty much at the very end of this realm. We found ourselves locked in combat with the Rune Lord of this place called the Grim Coast, which is kind of your first starting zone in this role-playing game. There's a lot of realms that come with the standard rulebook, so you don't necessarily have to play this one first, but it's sort of recommended that you do. So yeah, sort of the starting boss for the game and the various realms. And we got there, and we fought valiantly, and we fought long, and we fought very hard. But eventually we were overcome by the Ruined King, I believe. Yes, the Ruined King. We were overcome, and it was, I think our first, like, canon death. I think we've gotten really close, but we've not actually kicked the bucket until the Ruined King. So, a sad day, but that just means we have a grudge match on our hands, and, I'm feeling good about it. We decided I'm gonna switch up my view here. Solo. have most, if not all, of our tools up. Yeah, that looks about right. So, yeah, we had a, what do you call it? Took a little note in our journal here. So basically where we left off last time, we fought the Ruined King. We got pretty far. We tried running a strategy different for our character than normal because we got a spell. We got the Siphon spell. And so we were very excitedly hoping that the Siphon plus shield combo... Ghostly Flower said, I'm a lurker. You lurk away, Flower. You just lurk to your heart's content. We'll be here for you when you get back with that bean bread. We tried a new strategy where we were trying to drain the life of the boss, but unfortunately we needed such high rolls between the shield and the Siphon spell to do anything that it became this battle of attrition that we eventually lost because it turns out that the second phase of the boss can summon adds, and we just kind of got overwhelmed. So now we're going to try a different approach where we're going to be a little bit more offensive. Maybe we can cut through the skeleton adds a bit faster is what I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But what else? We also learned that when we die in this realm, every realm that is in the game has its own unique mechanics, some of which are bound to these time clocks, which I've created right here. So it has like a day-night cycle, right? And depending on if it's day or night, certain things will happen. This realm also has a unique mechanic in that when you die, you are uniquely cursed by the realm. And it's a random roll. And I think we got probably the worst possible scenario, like the worst possible option in terms of our curse. Because we have now -1 stamina in combat. And stamina is pretty much what lets us roll dice to get results that we need to win. So it's a lot worse than maybe just taking an extra damage or having one less move. I think, personally, that's pretty rough. But the silver lining is the curse only lasts until we complete a fight action. So we can kind of go in, fight maybe a smaller, more manageable enemy, clear our curse, and then hopefully storm the Graven Keep and take the fight to the Ruined King for a second and hopefully final time. Don't worry, I've queued up the Dark Souls You're Dead sound already, just in case we need it. It's right here. Because I have a feeling... No, I'm not even going to speak that into existence. We don't got to worry about it. We're going to win. We're going to win this time. So, that's kind of the plan. We'd kind of started planning a route the last time that we were joined. It is currently night. Night phase. When we respawn, by the time we respawned, I should say, it became night phase in the day-night cycle. And of course, we met with our beloved Dendrick the Fisherman. Oh, ye engraved. You foul and sordid lot. I'm sure, I like to imagine that the curse as it manifests itself on Johann, who, if you've not seen our main character before, Johann Mutt, the Knight of the Dawn, here he is. AI art generated by Dolly. Come hell or high water, my boy Johann will take victory, even if it takes an entire lifetime. Luckily for him, he's engraved, Ailing, so it may take several lifetimes. As far as we know, who knows how time really works in the Grim Coast. But this is Johann. This is our boy, and this is the NPC that we made. Your classic Dark Souls NPC who hangs out by the main bonfire and just kind of talk shit on you and tells you how you'll always be cursed and you'll die accursed. You're born into death and you'll live through it for eternity. But I like to imagine that the unique effect of the Grim Coast, because I do have some other art that we've generated. The Grim Coast is kind of described as being this icy coastline. There's a dark, shadowy castle on the battlements in the distance. So I like to imagine that when we die and we are respawned at point 1, whereas the sigil is, the sigil of this world, the rune of this realm is, I like to imagine that we've washed ashore, just like how we awoke here the first time we washed ashore, but this time we're like covered in a layer of frost and rime, and it makes our armor great and stick together, and every time we take a step, it's like we have to crack through this ever-growing sheet of cold that is growing across our body, and that's why we have a lack of stamina. We are constantly fighting a frostbite that is sort of being born out of our very souls. So, very, very chill, very calm, very easy to manage stuff, and not at all sad or harrowing. But I think that pretty much takes us to everything that we did last session. We made some notes in our journal. Where did I write the notes for the journal? There it is. So we're gonna go to the village of Teresh at night because we know there's a fight there. I'm gonna turn down my earphones just a smidgen of a pigeon. There we go. I can hear myself think a little better. We are gonna head to the village of Teresh at night because there is a fight there, and it happens to be a fight with some undead enemies, and we happen to have an item on our person, which increases harm to undead enemies if we get below half health. So that will be very helpful. We're also, not only are we cursed, by the way, I always forget this, not only are we cursed, but we also have minus maximum 2 health just all the time anyway, because we had to give a blood sacrifice to this spooky tree, so that it could help us ferry our way through the rest of the realm. Just very, very easygoing stuff. So we already are starting with minus 2 max health, and we are cursed with Everfrost, Permafrost. So really, Johann just kicking it. He's doing great, and he's very excited to face this giant disembodied suit of armor, Lord of the Realm monster that kicked his shit in last time. So this is our loadout. We're going to roll with the sword. It's very balanced, has a great potential for high damage, which is what we're mostly looking at. I feel like we're going to have to go on a big offensive push this time around. We're also taking the Siphon spell. The Siphon spell is a bit trickier to use than like the shield because the rolls are pretty high. He says as the knight is shivering with frostbite nipping at his fingers. Oh yeah, no, I say this I say this with all sarcasm implied. Johann is feeling it. If Johann wasn't already a being permanently doomed to live a living death, he would wish for death, the way that he's been feeling. So the Siphon spell's a little trickier because we need to get higher rolls, but we do have a range on it, and it recovers us health, which is nice. Then we're also using the Sun-Scorched Ring, which this is the item that's going to help us fight the undead, which is grand, which is what we're fighting right now. And then we also have this rune. This rune, I'm like 50-50 on. I can't change it. The way that the rules are written, all the items are interchangeable in your traveling phase, except for the runes. The runes you inscribe onto your engraved body during their incarnation in the realm, and then you can't change them until you've defeated that rune lord and gone on to a new realm. There's been some moments where I think Fatebreaker has really helped us out, but man, it sucks to lose 2 health when you're already down 2 health, Maybe if I had full health, or even like over capped health, I think there are some runes that give you more than your max 10, then this would be a lot more appealing. But it's been tough to use this safely, given that we're minus 2 health already. But perhaps with some good siphons, some good drains, we won't really have to worry about it too much, is what I'm hoping for. But yeah, with that being said, oh yeah, the notes I made from last stream. So we're gonna keep the ring on, the burning ring. We're gonna keep the ring on for the fight with the ghouls and the skeletons or whatever we're fighting, the undead we're fighting. But we're going to switch back to our amulet. This is what I let chat decide on last stream. We're going to switch back to our amulet, which is right here during the boss fight, because the amulet, even though the boss is undead and even though the skeletons are undead, we've learned from the last game that the boss fight can last a pretty long time. And this will allow us to heal if we get lucky enough to roll doubles on our dice. So it gives us a bit more longevity. And I'm hoping that'll give us like the staying edge we need to win out. So that's kind of our game plan right now. We have one healing potion that we can use during exploration, but right now we have max health because we just died. So then we restart with our full amount of health. But maybe depending on how things go at the village of Teresh, we may need to use it. But yeah, let me take a second to set up our fight map and then put on our fight music and get our fight art. Okay, so we have, that's the gnarled tree. This is the village of Teresh. We have ghouls and skeletons. So let's erase these for now. We'll be back for you soon, Ruined King. Don't you worry. You're not off the hook that easy. Let's take a look at, where did my rune art? I say, oh yeah, I have everything open, and then, all right, cool. One moment. I'm gonna go to chat. There we go. 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 Okay, found it. Nice. Don't mind me. I'm just a silly little guy. I'm just figuring it out. I also generated some new skeleton art, which is a little less goofy than the original skeleton art that we had. So that'll be a nice little surprise for everybody. So we got a skeleton. We got a ghoul. A ghoul. And then how many skeletons do we have? We have... I can read. I know things if I... 2 skeletons. That makes sense. Right? There's always got to be more than one skeleton. Where you at, Skellies? There you are. Okay, shrink you down. And then we just have to put them in their right place. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera to hopefully speed things up a little bit. So we got a ghoul at B3. And we have us at C3. Okay. And then we have skeletons at A1 and A2. Perfect. Okay. Oh, and you know what else I'm going to need up right here? I'm going to need my dice program. There we go. That should make the rolling part a little easier. Okay. So if I've done everything correctly, I'm going to go back to the... There we go. Perfect. Look at that. It's like I never left. It's like I was here the whole time. All right. So, now the way things work in Rune, because it is, for those of you who have not seen before, because it is kind of replicating a Souls-like experience, we get to roll for the enemies first, and we kind of get an idea of what their actions are going to be. So it's kind of like when you're telegraphing an attack in Dark Souls. Better at counting than me. I can barely go past 5. Well, the dice do have 6 pips, so hopefully we'll remember our 6s half of the time, because we could very much use them. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, so first we determine our enemy's actions. So you can see here from the chart, it shows you, hey, 20th OD! Welcome! Oh, you just reminded me, 20th, as I looked over to see you pop into chat, I can put on some battle music. Bum, 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 bum. Hopefully that'll start in a second. There we go. Yes. Take a look here. So yes, basically these little grids here determine what the enemies are going to choose to be doing. Good old fiery battle music, exactly. For our undead skirmish here. Now, I have to remember, I only can use 1 dice value. Yeah, I think no. Yeah, I think I only roll 1 die. I think that's how it works. Oof. Okay, this is gonna be spicy. So first we determine. Oh yeah, I remember the song. Bum ba da dum bum 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 bum. Actually, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good fight tune. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is determine our enemy's actions. So they rolled d6. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, just to make it easier for myself. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got a 4, 4, and a 3. So they're gonna move. These are the skellies. Move 1, harm 1. So they have to move closer to us. So we're gonna say this skelly goes 1, 1. Easy enough. And the ghoul got a 3, which is move 1, harm 1. The ghoul can actually attack in the same space, which means they're gonna move 1 here into our zone, which is bad news for us because we actually can't fight at the same space. We're gonna have to move. So then the only thing that we have to resolve here, I'm gonna say 4, 4, 3, is what we are doing. All right, determine engraved actions, which is us. So we only get to roll 1 die. Because we are cursed with the rime of the Grim Coast. I'm gonna roll that die. I got a 2. A 2 does not sound chill. A sword. Okay, that's harm 1. I guess I'm just gonna do it. I mean, I don't really have any other option. Oh, you know what that reminds me? I should have. It's like I start streaming and then I'm like, you know what I should have? I should have this piece of paper. I should have a pencil. I should have a pen. I should have all these things. I did all the tech stuff. That's all right. You know, we're learning. Everything's been. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. You know. All right. So the ghoul is pretty much running up in our spot. Organized chaos. Exactly. Oh, hot dang. I can't attack because I'd have to be able to move. Because he attacks adjacent. And I cannot attack adjacent. And I did not roll a move. Oh, I can see where this is going to get very bad. Very, very quickly. Okay. So, luckily the ghoul is only doing 1 harm. Which, you know, is not the best for Johan, but it could have been way worse. Oh man, this one dice thing is gonna be brutal. I can already tell. I'm actually gonna read. I wonder. I want to know if I roll 2 dice and I can only pick 1, or if I only roll 1. Let's take a look together. You know, because we're learning this system. Oh, okay. The word stamina is not is not hyperlit. Wonderful. Rules. Because I'd like to know. Learn, fight, search, delve, sigil, lore, grid, rounds. I think that's where we were before. Can I? No, that's exactly what I did, huh? I would have loved if this was hyperlinked. It's okay, Spencer Campbell, we still love you. We still love you for making this really cool game. Probably in the fight section. Combat. Grid and setting up. Determine your engraved actions. Determine your roll number d6 equal to your stamina score. Yep. Equal to my stamina score. So I don't get to roll 2 and pick 1. I only get the 1. Woof. Okay, that's rough stuff. All right, so I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. What's funny is that the spell Siphon. Oh no, it's ranged. I was gonna say maybe I could do that, but I didn't roll high enough. Okay, so Johan takes 1 damage and cannot do anything else. So Johan boldly marches into the village of Teresh. You know, frostbite nipping at his heels. Every time he takes a step, the ice is trying to like grow across his boot and like freeze him in place, but he struggles against it as he, you know, sets his visor on the ruined town of Teresh, and you can hear the shambling of bones and the moaning of undead creatures. You know, wobbling their way through the village square, and you can hear, of course, some ravenous, slobbering fangs just piling a dead, rotting meat and flesh into its gullet, which is, of course, the ghoul. And as it whips around to see us, it descends upon us before our frozen form can even have a chance to retaliate. Slobber ghouls, the most slobbery. I imagine all ghouls are just gross with the spit. We don't have a moment to react. The ghoul is already on us, and its claws are shredding into our armor, picking right through the frost as the skeletons nearby turn their lazy, empty skulls in our direction and begin to lurch our way. All right, things are looking pretty spicy, pretty dicey already. So we will determine our enemy actions. We got 1, 2, 3, of course. Bump, bump, bump. A 1, 2, and a 6. Oh, for the ghoul. Actually, for the ghoul, that's not that bad. The ghoul regains 3 health, which normally would be awful, but considering that it's already at full health, you know, not the worst situation that we could be in. So at least we're not taking any damage. The skeletons, on the other hand, are both going to move 1, harm 1. So oh boy, we're already starting to get overwhelmed here. Oh yeah, I did end up buying Rune and taking a look at the stuff. Oh, sweet! 20th OD, look at me. Look at me, an RPG influencer. Check it out, sponsors. You want people to buy your stuff? 20th OD bought Rune. I don't know if you love it yet. I hope you do. I'm having fun with it. Yeah, it's cool. 20th, if you've seen the starting equipment. I mean, it doesn't give you a whole bunch of starting equipment, but just by looking at that, I think you can already get an idea of, like, there's a couple different builds you could start with, you know? I chose, like, a very traditional Dark Souls, like, knight kind of build, but there's kind of like an axe and a berserker crown and stuff. You could start with, like, a very unique kind of build. Okay, so the skeletons are gonna lurch their way over towards me slowly but surely. They're beginning to raise their rusted, decrepit, frosted iron weapons. The ghoul, now that it has already plucked some already decaying flesh out of my chest plate, begins to lick it off of their clawed fingers, and I can see whatever wounds they might have endured, not from me, but just the harsh life on the Grim Coast begins knitting itself back together as it regenerates a lot of health. So now I have to determine what I'm doing. I got a 4. Okay, so that means I can actually do something cool. A 4 is pretty good on both. All right, so I can move 1, harm 2, or I can drain 1. Yeah, the other realms look very interesting, but I'd need to gather some other stuff, so I'm not writing things down on scrap of paper. Yeah, I mean, there's actually on itch.io, I think that's the website that hosts not only this game, a lot of solo RPGs. It's also where I bought Notorious, the bounty hunting game. There are a lot of people who make independent stuff for these games. I think someone recently came out, like, with a grid. Like, I made mine in, you know, Pages or whatever. But I think people have already started making some third-party assets to help you run the game and note-take. So that might be useful. But otherwise, I mean, I'm pretty old school. I actually very much like running most of my games by pen and paper. Like my personal characters and stuff, but obviously for stream, unless I had a very specific setup, I would need to, you know, have like a camera angle and all this stuff. But I think, you know, for now, this is probably preferable. Okay, so I have the opportunity to either move 1, deal 2 harm, or I can drain 1. I'm kind of thinking there's a part of me that kind of wants to kill the skeletons first, because the ghoul's just going to keep regenerating health, and I only get 1 die a roll, right? So the chance that I'm going to out DPS the ghoul while also dealing with the skeletons is probably fairly low, right? I feel like that's a safe assumption. So I feel like maybe if I focus down the skeletons, then it'll only be me and the ghoul left, and I'll have siphon spells, and like, you know, maybe be able to like out heal the ghoul, especially with the half health thing. That's what I'm thinking. We're gonna try it. We'll see. But all right, so I'm able to move 1. If I move here, yeah. I mean, he's not dealing any damage to me. He's just healing. I'll be out of range of this attack. Dodge roll out of the way. So then I'd only be dealing with this skeleton's attack. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I will move 1, harm 2. I'm going to make a note of that. That's on Skelly 1. Skelly 2 minus 2 is 2. All right, so the ghoul is licking its blood off of my blood off of its hands. It'd be weird if it was licking its blood off of my hand. That'd be a very different scene. But it's licking my blood off of its hands. As it's distracted, I tumble forward, Dark Souls style, front roll. I got the mid roll. I'm not even wearing a shield right now. I probably got the fast roll. I probably got those iframes. And as I'm pulling out of my tumble, the first gaggle of skeletons, definitely a scene, says Ailing. Yeah, that'd be very interesting. The first gaggle of skeletons slowly raise their weapons, but their undead reflexes are not quick enough to keep up with my somewhat more lively step as their blades and their maces hammer into the frozen earth, just cracking it, sending up a bit of dust in my wake. And as I pull out of my little dodge roll, I swing wide with my long sword, and I take a wide slash at the other pair as I knock loose a few ribs. That you see the bone fragments splintering outward as the first group of skeletons is reduced to half health. Unfortunately, I will be still in range for the harm 1. So as I'm taking that slash and regaining my balance, they will of course lunge forward and pierce through my mail in retaliation. And Johann releases a pained yelp. And you can see the frost from his curse, like a breath of wispy blue air, cold air, rays from his helmet as he takes some damage, unfortunately. So that's going to be his second bit of damage, so he's at 6 HP. Okay, so... Oh, did it go back to the non-fight music? I thought I had figured out this whole looping situation. Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. Let's see. We'll figure it out. All right. So now we're back to top of the round for our foes. We have to determine what they're doing. So we're going to roll. Okay. So first Skelly is move 1, harm 1. So going to move into my space. Skelly 2 has got a move 1, harm 1. So also going to move here. Oh boy. And then the ghoul rolled a 2, which is a move 1, harm 1. So they're all moving 1, harming 1. And unfortunately, they are all within the possibility of doing damage to me. So let's see what we roll here. We're going to roll. Oh, that's terrible. I don't think we can let that fly. That's nothing on anything that we have. I mean, I can Fate Break. I'm going to lose 2 health, which means I'm going to be at 4 health, which means now I'm... okay, gosh, this is so risky, but, like, we have to do it. So, okay, they all descend upon me. I am barely managing... as I come out of my dodge roll, the frost begins to grow across my body once again, almost anchoring me in place. As I manage to rip myself forward, all of the undead descend upon me in a hail of claws and rasping breaths. But as my armor begins to leak with viscous red fluid and my life begins draining out of my body, there is a pinprick of reddish gold light upon my finger, which begins to glow and blaze with newfound energy as my sun-scorched ring burns to life. And we can see in the hand that is holding my sword, we'll say, a series of burning sigils and embers begin to scour their way across the steel, empowering it with more baneful energy against the undead. Okay. And then because I'm rolling a 1, and I literally cannot roll a 1 right now. I will Fate Break. So we'll see for a moment the symbol, my rune, the Engraves rune, which is like emblazoned upon my chest plate, which marks me as one of the engraved, one of the cursed ever-living beings of this universe. That is destined to thwart fate and be thwarted by fate as well, over and over again. You see it beginning to glow and spread and crack and splinter, and suddenly there's an eruption of light and energy, vroom, like a concussive blast in all directions, whips up my cloak, whips up some snow, almost pushes the undead back for a moment, as I rewrite fate whoosh, in that moment, and hopefully roll something better. A 6! That is much better. That is incredibly much better. Okay, so what is going to happen here? What I'm going to do? Oh, yeah. Oh, spicy. Spicy rolls. I'm going to... Oh, darn it. I could have killed... Oh, wait, the ghoul's in my space, so I still can do this. I'm going to take the 6 on the sword. The sword is normally a harm 3, but because the Sun-Scorched Ring does +1 harm to undead enemies when I'm at half health, and I'm currently at 4 health since I broke Fate, that means I deal an extra damage. I'm going to do harm 4. The ghoul has 4 health. So I'm going to move 1 here, leaving the other skellies in the dust. I think this one was in my space as well. Johan, the energy bursts out of him. You can see there's like sort of flickers of sort of like shadowy after images of like the ghouls and the skeletons moving, almost like Johan can see the possibilities of where they might move or where they have moved in different timelines. It's like he's sort of collapsing them all in on themselves as he zeroes in on the reality where the ghoul leaves itself wide open, sort of lunging forward, leaving its mouth open and wide and agape as Johan grabs his now flaming sword, spins it, holds the blade forward, and manages to catch the ghoul straight down the throat. You just see the entire blade get buried in that gaping maw, just a bit of puffs of flame burning out of the edge of the creature's lips as Johan takes his other hand and twists the sword and pulls it to the side, completely just rending the ghoul's skull in twain and leaves it a burnt, headless, or I should say fractured, skulled corpse at his feet. The ghoul is slain. So that's kind of funny. My original plan was focus down the skeletons, but it quickly became just murder the ghoul. Flaming swords always be good. Listen, if I can get a flame tongue, if I can get, D&D flame tongue, I'm going to take it. I will, unfortunately, because I believe this ghoul was in my space here as well. Because it's here, yeah. I will unfortunately be exposed to the harm 1, so Johan will go to 3 health, which isn't amazing, but maybe we can get lucky with these next few rolls. Okay, back to the top of the round. We have the skellies going. We got 1, 2, so we got a 2 and a 3. Skeletons are going to move 1, harm 1, move 1, harm 1. So I'm looking at 2 damage right now. Alright, we're gonna go with Johan. Johan, be with us. Be with us, great Johan. I'm gonna roll. Oh, no. No. Oh, no. This is bad. This is bad. I don't get anything on a 1, which means I would have to break fate. So, pretty much, I have to put myself at 1 health and hope I roll something enough to kill the skeleton. Is really what that boils down to. Because if I don't roll anything that will either gain me health or kill the skeleton, then that is going to be a very a valiant but short first respawn from Johan. Oh, point of inspiration! Oh! Whew, Ailing, thank you. Blessed be to you. All right, we're gonna roll it again, see what we get. Oh no! You're kidding! Another one! Oh, you're kidding, Ailing. I know that. Oh, I know that. Good. I know. Oh, how? What is the? Oh wait. Is that a inspiration from 20th as well? Okay. All right. I'll take it. I will take every shred of luck that I can get. All right. Third time's the charm. A 5. Okay, a 5 does seem like we can do something with it without losing health. So let's take a look at our options. If we take the 5 on the sword, we can at least move out of harm's way for 1 attack. If we take the 5, it's going to be a drain 1. I think we need to take the move and the harm. I think that's what we need to do. So, I have to make a note here that I'm at 3 health. Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll take the 5 on the sword, we'll move back 1, which will put us out of harm's way of this skeleton at the very least. But this skeleton will... Oh, wait! Oh, but that skeleton 1, this is skeleton 2. Because skeleton 1 is already damaged. Skeleton 2 is already damaged. Oh, no, skeleton 1's already damaged. I'm getting them backwards. This is 1, this is 2. Okay, that's actually good. Okay, so we move back 1. We attack for now 3 points of damage. The skeleton was reduced to 2, which means the skeleton is deleted. Only through the divine intervention of Soriel, goddess of the dawn. You can see Johan, like, wrenches the blade out of the ghoul, turns around. The skeletons are just falling upon him, and because he's broken fate, he can see, you know, all the different realities, and there pretty much, like, isn't a reality that he's seeing before him in which he doesn't get dragged to the grave against his will. But suddenly, in the distance, a hark, a call, a blazing light in his mind's eye upon the in the distance, as 2 clarion godly calls echo through his ears and give him the fortitude, the tenacity, the resolve to push on past certain doom. Once again, brandishes the flaming sword, a wide cleave, and some scarred and charred piles of bones remain in the wake of his sword. That skeleton is dead. So we have 1 left to go, 3 health. It's doable. It's doable. Okay, so we're gonna re-roll. So we got 1 skeleton now on a 3, which is a move 1, harm 1. So definitely within range to do something to us. We're gonna roll for us. A 5. Okay, so the 5 once again is either a drain 1 or a move 1, harm 2. Drain 1 versus harm 3. Well, this is an interesting question. I think I've already talked myself out of this before, but drain specifically says deal harm equal to drain, and this says +1 harm to undead enemies. Do you think that applies to Siphon? Do you think the +1 harm, does that make sense? There's a part of me that wants to say yes, and there's a part of me that wants to say no. Just because it says deal harm equal to drain, and this gives +1 harm, but this does not say drain. So I don't know. Because otherwise I would love to take the drain. Drain should harm right. That's what it says. It says deal harm equal to drain, right? So this is a drain 2. But this specifically says +1 harm to enemies, you know? So it's like... It's not exactly, it's not like harm is written here, but it technically deals harm. It is a kind of this gray area in the rulings. Because there's a part of me that's like, I would love to take that Drain 3, but I don't want to feel like I'm cheating. You know what I'm saying? But maybe this game is hard enough that, like, it's not really cheating. The question is if we want to be charitable to... Yeah, I mean, that's very true. You know what? Here's what we'll say. If Johan can get through this battle without relying on a Drain 3, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt in the boss fight. we'll let him do it. if he can win this one with a less charitable interpretation, we'll make him earn it. Okay, so if that's the case, if I'm fighting with a harm 3, or I'm sorry, a harm 2, I wish it was the harm 3. I could kill that skeleton right now. And I have a million tabs open. What's the tab that I want? There's the tab that I want. I get to move 1. I could actually. It's a move 1. I could just like kind of strafe him. Because there's no guarantee that I'm going to roll another. Because the Siphon I can actually use at range, but there's no guarantee that I'll actually roll a move, and I technically can't roll a move and a Siphon in the same turn because I can only roll 1 die. So maybe I just go for broke on damage. Yeah, I think that's what I do. I think I just stay here and trade blows. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, so, Johan plants his feet firmly in place after that first slash. The frost growing under his footfalls at every moment. Show us your valor, ye forlorn undead. Yes, absolutely. This is the moment where, you know, he's heard the clarion call of the dawn in his head. He can't back down now. The skeletons rush forward at Johan, his ring burning on his fist. He lunges forward, manages to plunge it into the breastplate of one skeleton and push it aside as it collapses, but there's still one quickly on him as it slashes and gnaws at his arm, breaking through some of his armor. Johan is currently at 2 health. The skeleton is at 1 health. So this is where we make it or break it. Okay. Although, okay, is there... okay. Skeleton goes. Gets a 2. So it's going to move 1. Oh boy. This is where it gets dicey. We have to be able to move this turn. Move 1, harm 1. Harm 1. We're going to roll. A 4. What is a 4? I think a 4 will still get us there. 4. Yeah, I might as well just drain 1. Oh wait, I can't. I have to move. Okay, I can. Okay. We're fine. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cash in the 4 on the sword. We will, so it's in my space, which means I can move back 1 out so we're not in the same space. We're adjacent now, which means I can finally break free from its grasp, leap backward, ready myself as the flames burn ever brighter within my palm, and then take a wide swing, and we'll say, just for narrative's sake, I swing with the sword and releases an arcing wave of fiery radiance outward that pushes forward towards the last remaining skeleton, sunders it at the waist, completely tearing it into the spine, severed by a almost like a lightsaber-like blow. You know, that smoldering stump of bone as the skeleton is finally brought low. It still does manage to deal the damage to me, so I have exactly 1 health left, which isn't wonderful, but it does mean that we can go back to our chill music and consider the skeleton slain. So Johan will sit there breathing heavily, and you can see the frost, his cold breaths slowly becoming shallower and less billowing until it slowly retreats into his lips. There was music. There was music, Loki. At least I thought there was. I was hoping there was. I can see maybe if I turn this up a little bit more. Just try not to let it overpower my vocals again. But oh, by the way, hi Loki. I didn't see you there. But nice to see you in chat. But slowly the cold breaths begin to draw shallower and billow less and less, and you can see the frost beginning to sweat and liquefy as it slowly drops off of his armor into little droplets at his feet, as the chill pushes its way out of his veins. And Johann is no longer cursed, so we finally get both of our die back, which is welcomed. Oh, look at chat. Everyone's being so nice. Hi, everybody. So good to see you. Let us... When the moon hits your eye, Loki. Okay, so I got 1 health. I got 1 health going into the boss fight, which means that's not what we're going to do. What we should do is think of some plan to get us to the boss zone. Oh. We've unlocked a bunch of secret passages. There has to be a way that we can finagle getting back to Sigil and healing, and then moving back unobstructed. So we finished a fight here, which means that is a night marker. So what would happen if I moved back to Sigil? That would be another night marker. I rested at Sigil, which would be a night marker. And then by the time I traveled to the village of Teresh, that would be a 4th night marker, which would actually make it day. And if I'm doing my math correctly, if I arrive at the village of Teresh during the day, there is no fight. So I think that is what we are going to do. We are going to take our weary, half-frozen, armored, corpse-like body back to Sigil. We will take a knee. Of course, we'll walk back, and Dendrick will smile coyly at us. And, I see you finally worked the frost off your bones. A mighty feat for someone as graven as you. Thought for sure you'd be swimming with the fishes again. Just mocking us all the while. I also thought, wouldn't it be kind of funny? You know how in all the Souls-like games, you kind of find that one item. I mean, you know, now we live in the age of the internet, so, you know, anytime you find a weird item, you can just, like, look at a guide online, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is what this is used for. But imagine, if you will, you played through a Souls game, you know, completely unknown, you know, to you. You had... I rolled to possess John and smacked Dendrick upside the head. That's like when you hit the NPC one too many times and they're like, I knew it would come to this, and you start a fight and then take all their gear. But, yeah, like, you know, I feel like the sense of wonder, you know, where you find, like, a mysterious item, you don't know what it's used for, and then you talk to the one NPC who knows something about it. It's kind of lost on us because we have so many information resource available to us. But I thought, you mean touching Swayback, exactly. Yeah, nobody touches the horse. But I was thinking, how funny would it be if, like, you know, we went back to the Sigil, and, you know, Dendrick is doing his normal thing where he talks down to us, and as we're, like, poring over the items that we found on our travels, you know, he'll peek over his shoulder and he'll say, Oi, what have you got there? He walks over, and of course our protagonist is silent, because it's a Dark Souls game. Or, like, no, we technically have, like, 2, like, one-word answers that appear in a text box. But he would be pointing at the star charts, and he would say, My, have not seen charts and maps like these since the old sailors came to the Grim Coast. In fact, that script looks like me father's hand. And so, like, you know, we're kind of creating this narrative that the that the, what's the word? What was his name? There was an NPC, the Spectral Ferryman, the Ghost Ferryman. Perhaps, maybe, you know, was Dendrick's father. He went to sail once when I was but a wee lad. The seas were rough, the winds were cold. We told him not to go, but he said he'd find fortune and glory for us past the shores. We found the wreckage of his ship, not but a day later. Surely this couldn't be his writing. You know. So, just thought that'd be something interesting. Little connection there, a little thread. But we know the truth. Little old Dendy's papa. I know. Imagine this little bastard as a youngling. Imagine.
Oh, ye undraved. You stupid undraved.
That's young Dendrick. Alright, so if I'm doing all my math correctly, we can go back to Sigil, we can take a knee at the rune point, we can... Still little shit, exactly. That doesn't change, he's still a brat. But just a smaller target to beat up on when we want to take his spear and his hood. For Fashion Souls purposes. Okay, so we go back to Sigil, we take a knee, we talk to Dendrick, we show him the star charts, he's amazed and confounded. And we heal back our full health, and we also purify our curse, so we have all of our dice, which is exactly what we want, which means I think we're pretty free to march into the fray with the Ruined King unobstructed. So let's go here. Let us take our full health back. Beautiful. We have 2 stamina again. Our lore's maxed. Curse, none. Okay. And so, yeah, this would be the first marker for day. And then, well, that would turn day there. This would be the first day marker here. Okay. So, what we learned last time, that we visited the Graven Keep. Which, once again, I think I have some lovely art to inspire us here. Last time we went to the Graven Keep, we learned that because we had done such a good job snooping around and gaining all the lore from all the various map points, we actually can bypass all of the fights. We know the secret routes through the castle to take us right to the parapets where the climactic battle takes place. So we don't have to worry about any of these additional fights. We just have to worry about this guy right here. So, that means I can go back to our fight screen and replicate what we got going on here. So engraved goes here. I also created a slightly different picture for the top of the parapets. There you go. That's the, we kind of narrated that there were like dark clouds brewing with like skeletal visages floating, all ghostly whales. Yeah, still gotta worry about Big Man. Oh, I'm worried. Don't worry, I'm well worried. And there's lightning flashes going all around. So, you know, made slightly different art. Yo, Mochi Fett! Welcome, thank you. Did you hear the guitar for you? The wailing guitar solo? Welcome, Mochi. Happy to have you. Enjoy your guitar solo. Thank you for giving us your Prime sub. So generous. I like always forget that Prime subs are a thing. I could probably use them myself on some cool channel. I bought into the capitalist superstructure. I have a Prime account. I can probably benefit another small streamer. But thank you so much for giving us yours. That is so appreciated. And you're on a 4-month streak. That's incredible. Look at you streaking. So we're going to use these darkened parapets. They should have Prime DOMs as an option. Why is our chat so spicy? It doesn't, like, we're just, what's wrong with our brains? Where there are holes in our brains that we cannot fix. I love it. I love it. But it's just, it's uniquely our community. Okay, so I'm going to put these spooky parapets where the obstacles are supposed to be in this fight. There we go. There's one. There is two. Throw that there. And then we get to what's the word? Spawn in the Big Papa himself. I love the way you call me Big Papa. There he is. The Ruined King. So we skillfully navigate and march our way through the Graven Keep. Filled with, interestingly enough, I think the keep is filled with mercenaries and zealots. So that's something we never really got to experience. We've been slowly building the lore of this place or learning little bits. And what it sounds like is that there was some sort of cult-like faith that was like sacrificial and like feeding people to these trees that like summoned up an army of undead through necromancy and experiments in the village to fight against the keep. They found a secret entrance, and we also found out that the ruined king had like a big wound through the back of his armor, almost implying that he'd been betrayed or like backstabbed. And we know that the Lost Knight, the only loyal member of the original coterie here of royalty, if you will, or nobility, whoever hailed over this place, was traveling the world fighting all the undead and trying to hunt down the last necromancer, which we stopped. We managed to stop both of them with our sword. But yeah, interestingly enough, I do find that unique, that like the keep now is filled with zealots and mercenaries, right? So these are not people who are loyal to the king. So I definitely think that the king was usurped, was murdered by this like death cult, right? But I think probably in his death, I don't really necessarily know maybe if he's under their control or perhaps like, just his soul is bound to this place. Makes you wonder why the knight didn't see you as an ally. I think it's because we technically aren't living either. I think the Lost Knight, we might have narrated it during the combat, but the knight specifically, I think, says something about us not being alive. Yeah, right here. I can smell the grave on you. You defy death. I cannot allow you to take another step. So I think the knight mistakenly, or just stubbornly believes that because we are engraved and we aren't technically alive, that we are, just as bad as all of the other undead creatures that have befallen his kingdom. But yeah, so definitely interesting that there are mercenaries in the castle now. They're not loyal to the king, although the king still kind of reigns. So I wonder if it's like, maybe they can't control the king. Maybe that's why the necromancer fled. It's like maybe he thought he could kill the king and like usurp power, but then the king never really could leave the castle, and now it's like haunting this place and drove him out, and now all they can do is like keep this holding force of mercenaries here, maybe a couple zealots to try to keep him at bay with some dark magic. But an interesting story. There's still like holes in it, as like Dark Souls does, right? Souls-like games do. They give you just enough gaps where you can have to kind of infer your own narrative. But at least my headcanon, that's what it is. They killed him. They thought they could control him, but even in death, the Ruined King will not let control of his keep, and now stalks its halls and needs to be held at bay by these dark wizards before he like murders for the rest of their holding forces. Okay, so this is our setup. I think that means I can. Hopefully, y'all can hear the fight music this time around. I'm gonna put that on. It's a bit of a slow start. B-Reel is telling me to take a picture. should I take a B-Reel on stream? I like I'm never on Be Real. I don't even know why I have it. It's because my sister made me download it. Shout out to my sister, by the way. Yeah, let's take a Be Real with stream. Oh, that looks rough. Yeah, this is what the kids do, right? They do. This is still cool. We're Be Realing. Nice. Send. All right, we've reeled. You know what? I'll even say we're streaming, baby. Come join. Come join live. Yeah, everything is there's no such thing as bad publicity. You know, it's free advertisement. Beat the Ruined King's behind. We are gonna definitely very kawaii the peace sign. I mean, we're certainly gonna try. The Ruined King, of course, is gonna remember us as we stubbornly march our way to the top of the battlements, sword in one hand. We clutch, put our hand upon our engraved symbol as a golden light shines underneath our fists as we, as the same arcane, or maybe this is divine, truly, a faith-based spell, if you will, if we're using Dark Soul terms. A faith-based sigil now burns on the back of my hand as my entire fist glows with golden light as my siphon spell is activated. And you can hear we walk up, right? And you can just see the Ruined King, and we described him, I think, as having like a massive battle axe and a sword, right? Because like that's kind of what the art gave us. This great golden helm, which also bears horns atop of it, like a horned crown. He is staring. Oh my goodness! I give you this in your hour of need, O brave one. Johan appreciates you. The call of Soriel does not fall on deaf ears. We march our way to the top of the parapets. There's a lightning flash as we ascend the staircase. The dark swirling clouds spiral around the towers. You hear ghostly wails echo throughout the smoke of all the souls that the Ruined King has claimed before. And we can say that he's standing there. His back is to us, obviously, because he's a badass Souls villain. He's resting his hand upon his great sword, his axe, right? And his sword, we'll say, is laying just at his feet nearby, because we know that he has some ethereal powers. But I like the idea that we come up and we're looking at his back, but he has that hole rent through his armor, so it's almost like we can stare right through his like chest and breastplate out to the other side to see the wide swath of frozen shoreline, which is constantly crashing and lapping at the basin of his keep.
Engraved, you thought that you could conquer me. You will trudge to your death once again, and I will deliver you there, personally.
The head of the armor slowly just turns around like an owl, completely 180 degrees, burns with new light as the rest of his body twists as he raises one empty gauntleted hand towards the sword laying at his feet as it slowly vibrates and then almost like a magnet finds itself in his clutches.
We shall do battle again, and you shall not walk away unscathed.
As battle is now joined. Okay, so... Oh boy, we have to look at his stats again, because he does this crazy thing where he rolls 2 dice and gets the best result, right? 8-ball stream. Why is your request denied? Boo! No, why? Oh, that's actually the answer. I thought that was the Streamlabs telling you no, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the... I gotta go do adult things. Mochi, get out of here. Adult things? More so than slaying the Ruined King? I brought the filth to the chat for the night. Thank you, Mochi. We did need our dose of filth. Save some for Korug. We're gonna need some for Korug later on in the week. But we're glad to take some filth for now. Yes, we're so happy to have you. Oh, look at the... Oh, is that the Mighty Boosh Moon? I think that's the Mighty Boosh move. Okay, perfect. So the Rune King does some wild stuff. They call me the Midnight Barber. Robert Smith Azimuth. Oh, okay, there you go. Slaying the Rune King because he didn't pay his taxes. Yeah, this is just delayed collections. Delayed collections to the people. Tax the rich, everyone. Tax the Rune King. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, the Rune King does this wild thing where he gets to roll twice and take the best result of either of his dice rolls, which is super fair and doesn't make me upset at all. So, oh, and I will say, because before I forget, in traveling to the Ruined King, we are going to switch off our Sunscorched Ring to the Amulet of Dawn. We did talk about that ahead of time, so I just wanted to remember that before I mess that up. So we have our Amulet of Dawn now, glowing with ethereal godly light, which will hopefully sustain us in the fights to come. All right, so let's do the Ruined King. Can attack same and adjacent. Wait, am I? Oh, that's only in phase 2 where he takes the best of both results. Okay. All right. Phase 1 is still pretty normal. Okay, so phase 1. Special at 0 health. We got a 2, so move 1, harm 2, block 1. So the Ruined King slowly, just this, like probably like 2 Johans stacked on top of each other, right? Begins to wander his way across one of the blackened spires.
I admire your courage, Engraved, but courage alone will not spare you from my might.
And just like his like ghostly burning eyes staring straight through our souls the entire time as he stalks his way closer to us. What shall our Engraved do? So that is a move. I can make this here. Move 1, harm 2, block 1. So he's currently blocking 1. Our Engraved is going to roll 2. Gets a 3 and a 1. Ugh. Okay. 3 is a move 1. I can use the spell at range, but he's not in range yet. Maybe I just... Do I just wait here? Do I just wait for him and try to get a cheeky little ranged shot off on him if he gets close enough? Otherwise, I'm just going to be moving closer to him and not doing anything. Or maybe if I move here... Yeah, because like let me think of the action economy, because we determine any enemy actions and we move them first. So if I move here, that means he's gonna have to move back here next turn. I can kind of, you know, like in a video game when you get the boss stuck on like a piece of geometry in the world, and they like they kind of like can't maneuver off of it. Actually, funny stories, slight story time. If anyone has ever here played the game Champions of Norath on PS2, I think it was. It was, I think, an EverQuest top-down slasher game. I think I talked about it when my cousin Candy raided our stream like last week. My friend Tony and I were obsessed with that game. Both of them. There was a sequel to. They both... I swear they're so fun. They'd probably still hold up. They have, like, probably no plot. I have both of them. Yeah, no, Champions of Norath, it slaps. But I distinctly remember there got to be a certain point in the game where I don't know what happened. If we just like were under-leveled or the bosses just had a great difficulty spike, but we just started getting like whooped every other boss. But we found out that like certain boss fights would have like a weird piece of geometry that we could like get them stuck on, and then we could just spam ranged attacks until they died. And we got through like, I don't want to say 50%, probably like 30% of some of the harder boss fights by like tricking out their AI. That's kind of what we're doing with the Rune King here. He's like going to start going one way, and then we're going to start running the other way, and hopefully we can kind of trick him into this like this bottleneck here. Maybe we can blast him a few times with our range spell, hopefully. And so that's what Johan is thinking. Johan is thinking like, oh, I can outwit him. And he'll kick to his heels and start running behind one of the other spires. But of course, the Ruined King doesn't see it that way, as a dark chuckle escapes the empty helm.
Running away so soon, Engraved, and I thought you had some fight left in you.
And then, so no one's going to be close enough to attack each other there. Ruined King is going to make his move, which is a 2. So that is a move 1 harm. So it's the same result. So he's going to move here. Johan's going to roll. He gets 2. So a 5 and a 2. 5 and a 2, a 5 and a 2, a 5 and a 2. I'm looking at the wrong thing. A 2 is a harm 1. A 5 is a drain 1. Maybe I take the 5 here and I move 1. Yeah, I think that's what I do. And then hopefully, maybe by the next round, I can get a couple shots off on him. I'm just pretty much like standing there, my hand on my amulet, charging up my holy energy, the sigil upon my chest and upon my fist for my siphon spell, just radiating with pulsating golden light.
Yes, Engraved. Pray to your measly god. She cannot save you here.
As it continues to choom, choom, just getting ever nearer. You can see the grips of his weapons. He's like flexing his fingers, getting ready to hack into us. All right, so then we're gonna roll for the king. The king gets a 5. 5 seems better than what he's been rolling. Okay, 5 is a move 4. Move 4? That is so much move. Oh, that's awful. I was trying to strafe him, and he's like, nah, that's fine. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, and immediately get into your zone. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, boy. All right, so that's a move for... what is that? A harm 1, which isn't the worst harm option, but admittedly... it's not really what I want. And a block 3 actually kind of sucks. Admittedly. Alright, so we're going to roll twice for Johan. 1, 2. A 4 and a 5, though. Those are solid hits. A 5 is a move 1. Yeah, I think this is what I'm doing. I'm going to take the harm. I'm going to take the move 1, harm 2 here. Right? So I can attack him. And if I stack this correctly, let me think of my brain hole, let me think of my brain pan. He's blocking 3. I am doing, oh, it's not gonna matter. It's just gonna be net 0, huh? Well, technically, he's blocking 3. I'm doing harm 2 plus a drain 1, which equals 3. Yeah. Oh, I was really hoping I could have cut through his block and just like siphon just like a little bit of health at the end, just like a little slurp. But I don't think that is enough to do it. That block 3 is pretty brutal. Okay, so he is going to harm us by 1, which isn't the worst considering, but still. So yeah, basically we're planting our feet, we're charging up our spells, we're like holding out our hand, we're like waiting for the right moment. And then, the king is just, you can almost feel there's a tangible grin upon his ethereal form.
I do not think so, Knight of the Dawn.
As, like, it sort of lurches forward, like the armored form, and it sort of, like, discorporates into, like, a cloud of that dark, ghostly smoke. And then there's another flash of darkness before our eyes, and the king has just manifested before us, holding his axe, we'll say, in front of his body, the broad side of it creating like a makeshift shield, as he plunges forward with the tip of his sword, just enough to catch us by surprise, cutting against our shoulder of our mail. A glancing blow, but enough to draw blood, as it splatters across the stones of his parapets.
I believe you've stained the stones for a second time.
as we get all of our damage absorbed. Yeah, we like release our blast of light and he just completely deflects it with the axe. That's not the result we would have liked to have seen, but you know, sometimes this happens. Alright, so the king is gonna roll. King gets a 2. That is a move 1, harm 2, block 1. Okay. And now we're gonna roll. 1, 2. Oof. I am gonna use an inspiration point that I was just granted by chat for one of those. What am I gonna use it on? I guess I'm gonna use it on the 1. I could fate break the 1 though. And lose 2 health. And reroll both die. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Let me work it. Let me think about all of my choices. I'm gonna die by a ghost king. Brr, brr, brr. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Pay no attention to the man behind the stream camera. Alright. Oh boy. I don't know what to do. If I fate break the 1, I get a reroll. I can use the chat to reroll both. It's kind of risky, but like, why not? You know, we have all night. Let's go to 5. Maybe we'll roll doubles and 1, 2. Who said it? Who called it? Maybe we'll roll doubles. Ooh. Okay. So instantly, there's a wash of golden light as some of the wounds, as he's drawing the blade back, almost immediately the pale flesh underneath our armor knits itself shut in like a flash of luminous energy as the king, his ghostly orbs sort of widen.
What? Impossible!
As we roll 2 4s, which is very good for us. Alright, so we get to move 1, which means we can now attack. Harm 2. Oh, and then what did the king roll? Hopefully I didn't refresh it. No, I didn't. Okay. Rolled a 2. So he's got a move 1, harm 2. Oh, that just popped right out of my mouth. Harm 2, block 1. The block is not the best, but we still have some options left for us. Okay. So with that double 4, I can do a move 1, harm 2, and then a drain 1. So I will cut through his guard. So he has 3 block. No, sorry, he has 1 block. I'm doing 3. So I cut through the guard on 1. Then 1 point is regular damage, and 1 point is drain damage. So I actually go back up to full health. Oh, Ruined King. You did think. Verily you did think. Alright, so the Ruined King, I mean, granted, I just did like 1 point of damage. Oh no, 2 points of damage. 2 points of damage. So yes, the Ruined King draws back his sword. What? Impossible! As I parry his blow, and I hold out my hand. I release a golden stream of light as it hits dead center, where that hole is, where you can see like the floating remains of the rune that sort of binds him to this world float on their own accord within his hollow chest cavity. Strikes it immediately and begins to pull some of the magic from his form, and you can see the rune on my own chest slowly beginning to sort of rewrite itself as I'm drawing some of the runic energy from his body that binds him to this land, absorbing it for myself. No, this rune is not yours to steal! As it breaks free from my grasp. And I think we're on to the next round. Okay, 2 points of damage, 2 points on the board. You know, we're progress. Full health, not mad about it. Ruined King's gonna do his roll, which is, okay. Gonna move into my space. It's the same result. Move 1, harm 2, block 1. Which means we are going to roll twice. 1, 2. Oof, the 5 does suck. I mean, sorry, not the 5. The 1 sucks. The 5's great. Ooh. Maybe I summit. Maybe, yeah, I think that's what I do. I think I summit to get a 6. I will take 1 damage in the altercation, but I think it's a fair trade to get 2 off on him. I mean, otherwise I could drain 2. No, but I'd have to move. I need to move to be able to hit him, because I can't attack in the same space, which he can. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump back. He's going to occupy our space. We're going to sum the 5 and the 1 to make a 6, which means we have the harm 3. And he's blocking 1, which means we get a net 2 on the king, leaving him at 3 health. Okay, so yes, it's not yours to steal, breaks away, raises both of his weapons high up in the air. We take this opportunity to strike forward and just sort of cut, like a line. We deepen that wound in his armor as we leap back just in time for him to slam both of the weapons into the flagstones, cracking up some of the dark shards. We like get peppered by some of the debris, ping, 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 which is mostly all the residual damage we take. But we get that cheeky blow in our walk backward. Oh wait, is that shirt merch? Funny you should ask, Loki. Technically, yes. So funny story. My mom actually made this for me for Christmas. You know, as like a holiday gift. But merch is in the works. Like we already have some shirts available, some like D&D and like TTRPG themed shirts. But I am working to get our logo updated because the pictures that we have right now are kind of they're not the best resolution. They kind of need like an upscaling. So I'm working on getting our logos upscaled and updated. And then once that happens, then I will be putting the new shirts on our merch store, and I will announce that. So if you are feeling like wearing a similar but not the same shirt in your near future, it will be available to you. Okay, so I leap back. I take a swing. Also, shout out to our merch, which is in our description below. Funny story, I designed a lot of those symbols for like the RPG classes and stuff. I didn't digitize them. I had someone else digitize them, but I designed them. We actually sold, funny story, that page has been around forever, and like it kind of sits in the background. It like really doesn't ever get any play. Like granted, you know, we're small, we're new, but like it's been around for like maybe a year and a half, 2 years. But randomly I got a notification on my phone the other day and someone bought a shirt. I don't know who, doesn't tell me who, but someone bought a barbarian shirt, size small, black t-shirt. So if that was y'all, one of y'all, you're loved, you're appreciated. Thank you for your $9. That'll help me buy a coffee. And I need all the coffee I can get. Oh, me. Loki, that was you? Okay. Well, I hope you like it. Yeah, like I said, I designed that barbarian rock and axe. Do you play barbarian, Loki? What was that tone I just had? Do you play barbarian? Loki, you play barbarian? Barbarian is one of those classes I always think of really cool barbarian concepts for characters, but I just never cannot play something that can cast spells. Or is sneaky and cast spells. That's like my character archetype. Haven't yet, but I want to. Yeah, well, hey! I'll announce this on stream right now. So the gang got together and talked about the whole OGL situation, and since it looks like Wizards is backing down from a lot of these really nasty policies that they were trying to enforce, we are heading forward with 5th edition. The campaign will continue with the current rule set, which will once again be streaming Wednesdays. I think this Wednesday we won't have the full head count, so we might be doing Fall of Magic, but don't worry, all of your favorites, Gray, Viola, Musaddi, Zorvarax, Percy, Yoan, Nadara, they're all going to come back. And we are actually we're working on it. We are going to go forward with making the Discord a 5th edition play-by-post community space. So, because now we don't have to worry about all of the crazy restrictions that we're going to put on everybody. So, yeah, if you have a good idea for that barbarian, maybe use it for the Discord games. That'd be fun. I don't know what character I'm going to play yet. I got some ideas. But, you know, that's all. I'm going off into too many tangents. But it will be fun to see you all there, and hopefully you'll roll some characters with us. Okay, so I did a little plink of damage, we kind of each plinked each other for 1. That's fine. I'll gladly take some completely superficial damage. As we go back to the top of the round. Okay, so we got the king. King's rolling a 3. All right, same deal. Move 1, harm 2, block 1. Oh, harm 2, block 1. So I actually should have 1 less health. That's my bad. So I'm at 6, not 8. Bum, bum, bum. Because the first one I drained and got an extra health back, but this one I did not drain, I just swung. Okay. Oh, look at us. Look at that Streamlabs bot going. For some reason, it doesn't use the name I wanted to use, but, well, you know. Small potato stuff. All right, we're going to roll 2 dice. Oh, baby. Rolling those 6s. Rolling those doubles, which then turns into a 6, which means I can heal 2 points of health from my Amulet of Dawn. So glad that's the item we decided to take on our adventure today. I am back to full health. Baby, what a difference. What a difference this fight is. I will take the 6 on my sword so that I can once again strafe 1, get him adjacent, and then that will be a harm 3. He's going to block 1. I'm still going to take 2. Okay, so I healed 2, and then I'll take 2, so I'll be back to 6. Okay, you know, I'll take it. And then I will swing with my summed 6. 3, minus 1, 2. Okay, so, perfect. All right, so, he slams down his weapons. He holds them both in front of him. He charges at me in this, like, X formation. I swing. Our blades clash. We're, like, holding each other back and forth. You know, it's that moment where the protagonist and the antagonist clash, and their weapons are pressed up against each other. There's a lightning strike in the distance, illuminating our darkened forms against the night skies. Another ghostly wail of clouds encircles us. As the king's life is slowly draining out of him. He's down to 1 health in his current phase right now.
I have tasted this death before, knight. It did not stop me then. It will not stop me now.
As we're just like caught in our clashed moment at the top of the parapets. Okay. So I'm down to 6 health. He's down to 1 in phase 1. Let's roll for what he's gonna do. Okay, same deal. Move 1, harm 2, block 1. Okay, Johan, we are gonna roll 2 dice. What are you gonna roll, Johan? A 4 and a 6. These are both really good rolls. We should choose wisely what we're gonna do with him. Okay. So he's blocking 1 and he has 1 health. So if I take the 4 on the sword, I can move back 1. Right, which puts me within striking distance. I harm 2 on the sword, but I drain 2. So I'm doing 4 damage. He chips 1 away. How much damage is he doing to me? Harm 2. Yeah, I'm going to put the 6 on the drain 2. So essentially, he'll do 2 damage to me. But then I will drain 2 to go back up to 2. So I'll go back to 6. And then between my harm 2 and my drain 2, that's 4 damage total. He blocks 1. He's still taking 3. He has 1 health. Okay. Yep, we got this. We are cooking with, well, I was going to say gas, but we're really just cooking with the light of the dawn. We're cooking with the Soriel, the mother of light. Okay, so it will not take me again. You know, we're clashed. And then suddenly I parry both of his weapons upward. They're like almost flying out of his hands. I reach forward. Another beam of golden light erupts from my hand, strikes the rune, begins drawing the light into myself. You can see, like, in the golden light, it's actually like a stream of sigils and symbols that are like woven and weaving their way into like my hand. And you can see the patterns changing, the pattern on my chest is changing. I'm rewriting the realm. I'm stealing his power. And you can see for a moment that, like, as weapons are flying, his armor is sort of breaking, becoming looser, almost like I'm gonna blow him into smithereens. But as we've seen before, unfortunately, the Ruined King is not so easily undone, as all of these disparate armor pieces, which are floating in midair, suddenly stop and just sort of hover in midair, as if bound by their own gravity. And the helm, which has been levitating where the head normally is, now sort of drifts down to a central location as all the armor pieces begin to rotate around it like some sort of deadly atomic structure, the weapons, the sword, the axe swirling around him as the dark smoke begins to join this swirling mess of steel and ghostly energy. You can see the sort of the skeletal faces writhing underneath this mass of black haze, which has become its somewhat incorporeal form. As the king narrows its glowing ghostly eyes upon Johann.
You may have freed this form, but it is the form that shall claim your soul.
Phase 2. Okay, so phase 2 is a little different. Just ever so different. First of all, it gains a lot more health. He originally had 2 health, he's up to 12. Which, you know, not the greatest. However, can no longer block, which hopefully will be very beneficial for our siphoning stuff, is what I'm hoping. Sorry, I'm looking at my stream deck. Is it going back to the starting screen for everybody too? Wildly? Or is that, am I seeing an illusion? Am I seeing an illusion? I think my internet's just catching up to me in a weird way. I think we're fine. Okay. So it can't block, which is very beneficial for us. However, it does pretty much have a near endless amount of possible illusion. Okay, good. Ailing, thank you. It is an illusion. Or it could just be me slowly descending into madness. That's fine, too. It can't block, but it can summon skeletons almost infinitely. So we'll see how that goes for us. We're going to refresh the round. May Desna's will empower ye, steadfast warrior. Thank you. Oh, Desna. Pathfinder, right? Desna's the goddess of, like, art and beauty, right? If I'm remembering that correctly. I kind of want to... Or maybe it's dreams. There's, like, one that's like a butterfly and one that's like a bird, if I'm remembering correctly. But I can't remember which one's which. It's been a while since I played Pathfinder. I'm trying to think, what was my last Pathfinder character? It was an elf wizard who had a big superiority complex. Another common theme for my characters, elves with superiority complexes. Elf wizard, Desna's Dreams. Yeah, I think you're right. Desna Dreams. I can't remember who the art lady is. There's like an art girl. There's like hummingbirds, like a rainbow hummingbird, I think. But yeah, his whole thing was he wanted to be a control wizard. He wanted to learn how to like bend reality to his will. And so, you know, because in Pathfinder and all like the games pre 5th edition, you had such like character customization options. I have all these wild paths that he was going to take that is going to allow him to like rewrite reality and all this wild stuff. But we were like not that high level yet. So like the closest who hurt him. I mean, I'm at that point in my life, I wasn't the best at writing backstories, but he did have one named rival, who was like his magical rival at his school, and they got into a magical duel, and he cast a sleep or a charm spell on him during the duel, which is like the biggest insult that you can do to an elf because they're immune to charm and sleep spells. So it was kind of like, I'm not worried about you so much, I'm literally going to waste this spell on you. Like, you are that beneath me. And that, of course, got my character. His name was Sindarian. Sindarian Idranir, I believe was his name. And got so mad that he, like, like through the duel, right? Lost the duel. And then to further to wound the injury, his rival would like use illusion magic to like set Sindarian up and like make him look like he was like a bad student and like was like undermining the college and all this stuff. So eventually Sindarian got kicked out. Oh, and this was also, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know how canon this is or like in what point of the timeline that it's canon, but like elves weren't native to the material plane in this like iterate, or maybe this campaign we were running, I can't remember, but they weren't like, he was like an elf not from this reality, which is why he wanted to learn like reality warping magic. So when he got like ousted from the school by his rival, he literally got like extradited from the elvish realms and he got like shunted into the material plane. So he was like disconnected from his people, and it was like, you know, this quest to like prove himself that he was not the betrayer of the school, and you know that he was good. Well, I don't know if he was good. He was actually kind of an asshole, but he wasn't at least actively trying to ruin the one place that was like teaching him his craft. But it was funny because, I had all these ideas about him learning reality warping magic and stuff, and we never really got like so high level that was possible, but I took like every control spell I could, which in like that iteration of Pathfinder was really just a bunch of different pit spells. Like I knew how to make regular pits, I knew how to make spiked pits, I knew how to make extra dimensional pits, I knew how to make pits with like elemental damage at the bottom, like any kind of hole in the ground that would, be an inconvenience to my enemies, I mastered that. So it was just funny how that worked out. Yeah, you want a hole? He got you. A hole in the fabric of reality? Yeah, a hole in the ground? Also yes. It was just weird how that kind of worked out. But yeah, Sindarian Idranir. He was, maybe I'll bring him back in some iteration of some kind. You can probably make him in every iteration of Hole Master. Oh god. Don't don't Google that. Don't Google that term. Alright. So what's happening with the Ruined King Phase 2? He's a floating allowed to post. Yeah, allowed asshole. Yeah, exactly. Asshole Hole Master. It all makes sense. I guess it was just bound to be. Okay, so Ruined King Phase 2. He's now a floating cloud of death magic and armor and ghostly weaponry. I always pick Desna as any of my characters' deities. Oh yeah, why was I even talking about Desna and Sindarian? Oh, because he had the magic god. Nethys? Nethys? Just like the generic, I know all the magic god. So I remember Nethys. I remember there was what's his name? Kalian something? He was like the god of drunkards and braggarts and heroes stuff. He was fun. Yeah, Pathfinder has some great lore. Definitely love the world building they do. Okay. So we do know that in this phase, the Ruined King does get to roll twice and take the highest result, which is, not my favorite mechanic that has ever happened. So we're going to roll twice for the king. Gets a 6. A move 3, harm 4, huh? A move 3, harm 4. Right off the bat. That's interesting. That's cool. Alright, Johan's gonna roll. 1, 2. Oh no, that 6 is bad. Or that 1 is bad. Okay. We are going to... What is my health like at? 6? He's gonna do 4 damage to me. If I fate break this and mess it up, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna use the point of inspiration. Thank you, Desna. Thank you, Desna. Gonna re-roll that. 2, it is not amazing, but it's something. Oh no, it's nothing, because he's in my space. Unless I put the 6, oh, that kind of sucks though, because I can put the 6 on the sword and move 1, but that means that I was really hoping I was gonna get that drain 2 here. That is just a Big bunch of ghostly butt. Okay, so I'm gonna move here. Gonna put him here. So he's gonna do 4 damage to me. Ooh, this might be a quick fight. And then I'm gonna return 3. Oh, I never thought I'd want him to summon skeletons, but I would take that over taking 4 damage straight to my face. 11, 10, 9. Okay. So, yeah, pretty much just lunges at me, a cloud of darkness and ghostly screams and steel, and it just engulfs me, and I'm battered and slashed and banged around. I get caught in the chest with an axe. I get caught in the back with the sword. Pauldrons and gauntlets are smacking me in all directions. I managed to swing wildly with my blade enough to catch, you know, the glowing epicenter, the rune fragment that holds his soul aloft. But all the while, I'm just getting absolutely battered and beaten. As you can hear the king beginning to chuckle, and it echoes throughout my entire ear because his body is pretty much like his discorporated body is pretty much all around me.
Yes, I can feel your essence draining from you now. It won't be long till I deliver you back to the sea.
Alright, so dun 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 dun. Alright, what's he gonna roll? He's gonna roll a 5. Okay, so he summons a skeleton. Summons a skeleton. Which means I have to pull up my skeleton art. We have to roll a skeleton. We have to roll a skeleton. Okay, there's the skellies. They have to appear in an adjacent space. So probably right here on top of me makes probably the most sense. All right, you know, the ads are what got us last time, but that means he's not doing direct damage. So there is a small silver lining in that. I will roll twice. A 5 and a 6. That's a spicy meatball. Okay, so with the 5, I can actually move back 1. Okay, here I am moving back 1. I can harm 2 and then drain 2, which actually is 4 damage, which kills the skeleton, right? That just got spawned in. Yeah, 4 health. What was that? That was a very interesting language that I just spoke. Speaking in tongues. Yes. I will go back up to 4 health. I will kill the skeleton. And that's that. So pretty much I leap backward as I'm like pushing myself out of the smoke. Like another billow of like the black clouds like follow, like trail behind me, and as they're trailing my body, they actually form like a blackened skeleton as it like lurches out at me. But I take another swing, and well, actually it's more like a swing, and then as like the skeleton is like reeling back from the blow, I hold out my hand as golden light streams from it and banishes the undead spirit from this plane as it is slain. All right, I'll take the 2 free health at any rate, but that is everything that we can do. The king just leering at me with those ghostly eyes.
You claim the souls of those I've already defeated. How similar we must be, and how similar you are to them.
He's gonna roll. Ooh, double 1s. Get out of here. Move 1, harm 3. So that is still not great. Harm 3 is not my favorite. But depending on what I roll, well, we got some wiggle room. Okay, so I'm gonna roll twice. Bum bum. Okay. I really wish that 2 was higher, because I could have been able to blast him with my range spell. But I don't think that I want to be here for the harm 3. Because that'll leave me at 1 health. So I think I would have to move back 1, right? Which means he will not be... Oh, no. Oh. Never mind. In this phase, he can attack at same, adjacent, or a range of 2. So that doesn't matter. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. So, maybe what I do... I stay here. I take the 2 on the sword. And I take the 5 on the drain. So let's do some math. I have 4 health. He's going to do 3 damage to me, leaves me with 1. But then I drain 1 and I go back to 2. I think that's all I can do. It's getting dicey. It's getting dicey. But desperate times. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Alright, so yeah. So he went from 9 health to 7 health. So he's back to his original phase's health points. Grand for us. You know what I should do? I should actually probably have one of these skeletons over here, just in the wings. Just in case, you know? Alright. Oh boy. So this is just us. We're standing our ground. I am slashing and blasting pieces of armor as they float around me. I'm parrying axe blades as the sword catches me in the back, and then I turn around to blast the sword, and a piece of armor, you know, socks me in the side of my helm. It's just a whirlwind of steel and anger and desperation between the two of us. Alright, so we're gonna re-roll a 5. Okay, so good thing I copied that skeleton. So the skeleton goes into an adjacent space, which is obviously gonna be in my space. I am going to roll twice. I love that. I love that for me. I love that for you all. I love that for all of us collectively. I just think in general that was a really good thing. Okay, so we are going to go up 2 points of health because we rolled doubles on our amulet. I have 2 6s, so one of those 6s is going to be the move 1, right? Oh, but it's... oh, no, it hasn't attacked yet because it just got spawned in. So then I will use both 6s, drain 2 and harm 3 to deal full damage, 5 damage to the skeleton. It has 4 health. And I will take the extra 2 health from the drain, putting me back to 6 health, which obliterates this skeleton, puts a bit of range between us, and gives me some health. So yeah, I'm fighting my way out of the smoke once again. Another skeleton plops out of this inky abyss and rushes at me. I turn around. There's another beam of light which just completely evaporates the skeleton into nothingness. You can hear a displeased growl coming from beneath the king's headless helm.
How does it feel to kill that which has already been slain? To know what it is like to fend yourself away from your blade? As it glowers towards me and continues its assault. It's gonna roll twice. Ooh. But, oh, actually, this still might not be the best for us. It's gonna move 1, but it is a harm 3. Even with the 6 health I just gained, I don't love that. Okay. Now we're gonna roll for us. 1, 2. 2 and a 6, a 2 and a 6, a 2 and a 6. Okay. Let's do some math. Alright, so I can do 3 damage to it. And it will do 3 damage to me, which will bring me back down to 3. But I will drain 2 if I take the 6. Which will bring me -1 health, which is
5. I think that's worth it to just stand here and trade blows. I think that's worth it. So yeah, I'm doing a total of 3 damage. I'm gaining 2 health back. So 6, 5, 4. The king is at 4 health. By the way, just so we're all keeping track here at home, the king is at 4 health is what's currently happening. Alright. Yes. The smoky, inky, ghostly, armored... hey! Loki! Don't jinx us. Maybe you've just jinxed us. Maybe I was fine. Maybe it's you. You are the one who was cursing us. I'm finding newfound wells of strength as I cut and blast my way through these armor plates, some of which shatter beneath my blows, dissipating some of the smoke. Here's some more pained wails from the ghosts as they are reduced to ash and cinder beneath the holy magics that I wield. The king's ghostly energy burns brighter behind his eyes.
No, this is not how this story ends. The Graven Keep is mine. It shall always be mine.
And it's going to roll. Oof. That's 6. That's 6, though. Alright, it's gonna move into our spot. That's a move 3, harm 4, which we can still survive. Barely. Okay. Depending on what we roll here. Ooh, Johan. Everybody say your prayers for Johan. This is a big turn right here. I'm gonna roll 2 dice. Bump. 2 and a 3. Not my favorite results. He's got what? 4 health. 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3. A point of inspiration? Okay. I'll take it. Oh, did I just get 2? Okay. Alright. So let's take this. So, alright. So I remember I have a 2 and a 3 on the book. So we take the highest result because it's D&D rules. So then I got a 2 and a 3 and I have a 5 and a 5. See, this is where chat comes in clutch. This is where chat comes in the clutch. This is why this is why we game here on Twitch, so that I can defy death with the help of the very loyal level 1 compatriots. Okay, so first of all, on a 5 and a 5 doubles, we go back up to 7, which means that while that harm 4 definitely sucks, it is not the death sentence that it was a moment ago. I'm going to put the 1-5 here on the move 1 harm 2. So I'm going to back up. If only that were a 6 and that were a drain 2, that would end it right here, but it won't. Okay, so I'm going to move back. So it's going to be a harm 2, drain 1, which is a total of 3 damage. I will also gain a health. So I'm back to full. Because he can't block the drain. So he is down to 1 health. Ooh. I think the writing's on the wall with this one, but we'll see. We'll see. So he's chasing me. This is not how the story ends. The keep is mine! As I'm like blasting. Slash. Impossible! This is my realm! My rune! It is bound to me! Sort of screaming and echoing, and we're slashing and blasting our way through each piece of armor, like beginning to smoke and like fall and clatter to the stones, like leaving his ghostly essence. He's not able to summon it back into his form as it spreads across the flagstones. Inconceivable! Surely, you would have known the rune was deadly to me, so you would have put it in my armor. But no, you would have known that I've known the rune was deadly, so you would have put it closest to you. Alright, so now it's going to roll for him. He's got a 4, which is going to be a move 1, harm 3. Oh, I just need to roll anything. I just need to roll something. 1, 2. Oh, I think that's it. A 4, which can be a move 1, harm 2. Rushes forward. I'm blasting the pieces of armor. They are breaking off into smaller and smaller chunks, scattering across the flagstones.
No! This is my realm! I earned it! I fought for it! My land! My people!
Because it has to be sad, right? Because it's souls.
My people fought so
Bravely, as I keep like slashing one more piece, as I finally like cut my way through the darkness, and the last thing remaining is like the helm, which is just sort of like sadly floating in space in front of me. All of its armaments and its weapons scattered. The king is not almost dead. 20th.
And he's not only really dead, he's really most sincerely dead.
As it like slowly floats in space, his eyes just lock onto mine as we sort of like share this like somber moment.
You are cursed, as I was cursed, to live, to die, forever bound to the runes, to this land. You think that claiming my sigil will set you free, but you only add another link to your chain, another lock upon the collar, which binds you to fate. Reduce what is left of me, what little remains, but it will not free you. It will not save you.
And like Johann raises his sword, and you can even just hear like the sort of contented breath of relief by the king as the blade cuts down through the helm, sunders it in twain, splits it into, there is a flash of lightning behind them as the two halves ting 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 fall to the flagstones. They spin a bit, smoking from the point of impact as the ghostly wails begin an unearthly chorus of pain. Are they what's the word? Ruing the fall of their king? Are they perhaps overjoyed that their souls are finally freed from his grasp? Who is to say? But the black smoke swirls sort of in opposite direction of the original cyclone that whirled around the dark of the Graven Keep as it splinters off above the cloud cover, high above Johann's head, as a ray of light ignites behind the hillsides, the frosty hillsides in the distance, as the sun, the dawn, rises upon the grim coast again. There is that beam of light which shines down right to the top of the parapet, and you can see now it now illuminates not only us and the top of the realm, but now you can see the sigil, which was once emblazoned upon the ruined breastplate of the ruined king, now glistens atop the parapet. The rune that bound him to this land and supposedly may free us, although the king does not seem so convinced. Here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo. Actually, funny story about that. I was making breakfast the other day. I'm just gonna interrupt all that epic narration for another story time. I was making breakfast the other day. And I don't know, maybe, I feel like other people do this, where, you're just sort of like making like little songs up in your head, or I will like forcibly insert words or like phrases that are in my mind to the tune of songs that are like popular. And I had ordered some veggie bacon strips, It's not a wolf stream without a tangent. I mean, this is what keeps him coming back. all of my just wild tales. But I'm trying to reduce my meat consumption at home. I have no problem with ordering meat when I'm out. Actually, I have no problem with consuming meat in general, but it's just like, how do I phrase it? I do not like the business of meat manufacturing, right? Like the factorial capitalist nature of it, which like pollutes our planet and like disenfranchises people and like isn't so cool with animals. I don't love that. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with eating meat, but I don't love that part of it. So I try not to buy it for myself when I'm home. I'll buy it when I'm out. It's like a treat. So I had veggie bacon, and I'm making it. And on the front of the cover, it says veggie bacon strips. And like in the back of my mind, on repeat, I was just hearing, veggie bacon strips, do-do-do-do. Veggie bacon strips, and I said, it's alright. I don't know. Am I the only person who does that? I feel like there's got to be other humans. I hope, anyway. So anyway, back to our narrative. How'd they hold up? They were okay. They were good. I'll be the first one to say, I obviously like regular bacon better in terms of taste, but they were still good, Like, they get the job done. They give you, like, that feeling of, like, oh, like, I got this nice protein on whatever I'm making, my avocado toast or, my sandwich or whatever. Does a trick. Yeah, I've done turkey bacon before, too, but then I wanted to even get away from turkey. I don't know. I'm pretty easy to please. I like a lot of food. It's really hard to, like, the only flavor profile that I don't love is sour. I'm not a sour kind of guy. Don't like sour candies or anything like that. I remember when Warheads were really big. You remember Warheads candy? And I remember in middle school, everybody would like hustle Warheads and like trade Warheads like they were a secondary currency. Like, oh, you forgot your pencil for class today? Give me 2 Warheads and you can have my spare. Like, it was so weird, the side economy that Warheads candy had, the grip it had on those 90s children. But like, I didn't like Warheads, so I always gave them out to people, but I did find out, I forget how I found this out, but like one day I took like a Warhead home and I just held it under the sink and like I washed off all of like the really sour powder part and then I just ate the candy part and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. You think I'm sharing my Warheads? Psh, yes, people, they rallied for their Warheads. Not I. Was not a Warheads kid, but yeah, I found out if you just wash off the sour part, the rest of it's pretty good. Oh, you know what's dumb of me? Look what I did here. I created art for the whole second phase of the King fight, and I never used it. I was so like caught up in the fight. Here you go. See, it's like a spooky crown covered in smoke. Ooh, scary. It's dead, but like, ooh, spooky. All right, we'll just keep it there for our entertainment. The Chewy Warheads are so good. I've never heard of that Chewy. That's after my time. They've invented something that is beyond. That is eldritch knowledge. You have to be an arcanist to know about Chewy Warheads. But that all being said, time to stretch. Yeah, you're not wrong. Veggie bacon strips, do-do-do-do. Veggie bacon strips. You know what? You can't see it, but I can touch my toes. I can actually go beyond my toes. I do my yoga. I do my stretches. I keep limber. The little gummy cubes. Oh, did you hear that? Can you hear my back popping? All right. Yeah, look at that. Unofficial L1A merch. official cuts coming to you soon. Thanks, Mom. But there we go. So where were we? Oh, and hydrate. Thank you. Thank you. Whew. You know what? As far as the Souls boss goes, second fight, second try, I'm happy with that. I have definitely had Souls bosses that were more than 2 tries. I stand up and stretch and it's like all my joints pop off. I I didn't think it was that weird. Like, you know, I mean, I get it. You get a little older, you get a little cracky. It's fine. But like, I was home for the holidays, and I was with my sister, and I was just like, you know, hanging out with her. And I was like, pop my back, or whatever. And she looked at me as though I had just risen from the dead. She looked at me as if I had spoken the unspeakable words. She's like, "What is wrong?" I'm like, it feels good. I don't know. I feel fine. She was astounded by the sound. But yeah, 2 tries for a Souls-like boss. I mean, there's a couple things. I think number 1, I could be wrong on this. I don't think I am, but I could be wrong. Was I rolling twice for Phase 1 the first time we played? Maybe I was doing the Phase 2 mechanic on Phase 1. I can't remember. I definitely remember... I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering that. But, yeah, just... Oh, man. Having the sword being able to move was... And having lower dice values, like being able to get damage off on 1s, was huge for this fight. It was really hard to punch through the block on Phase 1. But Phase 2, when he has no block, as long as you can generate damage and there's not a skeleton in your way, it's free damage. You just have to worry because I forgot that he was ranged. So I don't think I stole any damage from me off of that. Because most of the time he was up in my face anyway. I don't think there was a time where he could have hit me from ranged, but I didn't. But still, being able to do 3 and 4 damage a hit is brutal, especially when you have 8 health. So we did get some really good rolls. And some very fortunate, lucky inspirations from chat, so thank you again. Oh, I guess I can stop playing this, like, intense battle music, because he's dead. You know? So we can kind of play a more chill tune. Once again, shout out to Tabletop Audio for providing awesome fantasy and sci-fi tracks for all of the streams that we do. Okay, so there's a beam of light that's shining at the top of the parapet. It is illuminating a new sigil upon the ground, the rune of the ruined king, the sigil of the grim coast, and I will reach my hand down toward it. And those same symbols sort of like slide up towards my hand, and they begin to congeal into like a shape formed of pure light. And as I wrap my fist around it, it almost becomes like a shard. It's like a shard of energy. It's like a chisel. And almost instinctually, I don't think it's something that the engraved is taught, but I think it is something that is born into them from the state of their being. I lower this symbol, this spike of pure light down towards my chest where my own rune resides. And I begin to drag it across my breastplate and like through my flesh, and it's like not cutting my skin, it's almost like phasing through my skin, I imagine. But it still feels as though it's like rearranging my flesh and my muscles and it's like, because it fundamentally alters what and who I am as a being. Oh, what's this? What's this I blocked off? Oh, this is the slaying of the ruined king. Okay. Yeah, it like fundamentally alters my being as I like inscribe the knowledge and the history and the power of the ruined king and the Grim Coast into my physical form. I imagine too my mind is probably flooded with like memories of this place, probably like in its glory, you know, the king when he was not ruined. Perhaps I even get to live through his final moments where he is betrayed, and I feel the blade wrench through my back as the cult and the necromancers usurp my kingdom, and I begin to feel my hatred seethe over to a point where it actually persists and gives me life beyond death, right? And all of that pain and that anger like snaps into my consciousness in a way that is sort of beyond my realm of knowledge, and then I cut back into my own reality and I look down, and the light slowly flickers out of my fingertips, and the chisel is gone, but now I can see my symbol has changed. I have a new rune emblazoned upon my body to show my growth. And so, slaying the ruined king. The storm above you passes. Light from the sun breaks through, yes, and burns away the armored mass that was once the ruined king. In the smoking heap, the glow of a rune calls to you. Wow, I pretty much actually narrated what what that was showing before I even read it. Carving the rune into your being, you feel a grip on the grave like never before. Deathless. Oh, is that the rune? Ignore the first death penalty you take when exploring a realm. I think that's a rune, right? Yeah. Nice. Which means, actually, I believe an engraved can have up to 2 runes equipped at a time. So I can actually attach this directly in accordance with the Fatebreaker. And when I transfer realms, I also have access to the other runes that I started with, I believe. Yeah, Fate's Foe, Fate's Fury, Fate's Hunter, and Fate's Breaker. So I would be able to swap one of these out and add another. That's something to consider. But yeah, I think I carved that into my body. And like the beam of I look and I can see, you know, I look out across the Grim Coast, and I can see that it's almost like the banishing of the king is rewriting this world. You know, the sun is breaking, the frost is pushing back, the weather, the whipping winds die down into smoother, cooler breezes. The ice and the frost recede until you can begin to see the faint inklings of some gray crabgrass that are, struggling to survive. It's still a harsh environment, but there's like signs of new life, that are beginning to grow in this place that was once a land of death and undeath. And as I, see that I've changed this world, hopefully for the better. Who knows what's going to happen here after we take our leave of it. I think what happens is, like, while I'm as the rune disappears underneath my feet, it's almost like I am drawn upward into that pinprick of light from the sun. I begin to levitate, almost like a tractor beam, like a UFO, almost like calling me upward. And there's like another grand sort of explosion of symbol and light. Life returns to the Spare Realm. Oh, you know what else I had synced up just for this moment? This right here for all you kids at home. There you go. There you go, Rune King. That was for you. We'll swing that back over here. Life returns to the Spare Realm. There's a flash of light and symbol, and I am whisked away out of the Grim Coast and displaced into another heretofore undiscovered realm. And so, yeah. That is Rune. Let's go back to the Just Chat second here. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around and watching our playthrough of the first official realm release, The Grim Coast, for Spencer Campbell's Rune, which you can buy. I believe it's like TDS, probably like $10. I can't remember. It's pretty cheap. And so yeah, there's a couple things. There are more realms that we could do, that we could transfer Johan to and continue the adventure. But I don't know. There's also parts of me that maybe want to explore other games. For now, I don't know. We talked about maybe doing Darkest Dungeon. There's other solo RPGs I might want to try. But there is still a lot of Rune content that we could do. And I also have to start thinking about what kind of content I want to release to the Patreon. If people want to, like, watch extra content from me. Maybe this might be a good, like, side stream. But I don't know. We'll talk in chat. We'll see if people want to see more Rune. We ended it well. I do want to see more of Johan. I mean, look at this guy. Y'all do want to see more of Johan, is that what I'm seeing? Yes is in the chat for Johan? Because if so, we can keep it going. But I am struggling, interested to seeing you struggle in Darkest Dungeon. It will be a struggle, I guarantee you. I would like to, Darkest Dungeon would be fun. Yeah, there's a couple. I'm realizing there. Yeah, we can always come back to it. I mean, it's not like the stream is ending anytime soon. I'm beginning to realize that there's a bunch of, because I'm not, I honestly, the most games that I play that aren't tabletop role playing games or board games with my friends is like on stream with y'all, because I just don't really have the time to play games like I used to. And I'm realizing that I haven't played a lot of really cool, and I love RPG games, right? I love story based games. I love character building, all that stuff. So like, what was another game that I realized that I'd never played that has such great reviews that I think might be fun for stream? Banner Saga, I believe it's called. There's like 3 of them. I've never played a single Banner Saga. The art looks gorgeous, and I'm told it's really compelling. You ever gonna do that Pokemon game? I would not be against it. I feel like the Pokemon game, though, would probably be something that I would have to release as a side thing. Just because, like, level 1 is so specifically about, like, Pokemon is a RPG, but I feel like the things that we're doing, D&D, Rune, Notorious, Darkest Dungeon, I feel like those are kind of like a different stripe of RPG. But I would not be against doing the Pokemon thing. I still have to look into the ability to stream it completely legally. First thing, gaming PC, so your Mac. Yeah, that's also true. Might also be beneficial to put some time and energy and resources into a proper gaming PC. I was actually looking at one of those sites that helps construct it, the 2 LCAP Pathfinder. I have those too. I actually started playing, should we start a fund? I mean, y'all, like, my heart, that would just make it cry, weeping tears of joy, but I would not ask that of you. No way. Never. But I appreciate the sentiment. Oh, that is my phone yelling at me. I'll tell it to stop. I actually have Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous downloaded on my PC. I started Kingmaker. I'm enjoying it. But once again, just hard to keep up with. And Wrath of the Righteous I bought because it was on sale. So I was like, well, I'll probably play it eventually, so I'll just pull the trigger on it. So I have all of that. I have, like, the Divinity games. There's tons of stuff we could play, but yeah, it all really depends on the PC and stuff. Things like Darkest Dungeon, Banner Saga are probably going to be a little less intensive on the hardware, because they're, like, not fully 3D rendered, all that fun stuff. So yeah, we got options. Also, I randomly saw, what was that game pop up on my recommended to you on Twitch that I actually really like and I haven't played in years. Slay the Spire. I was like, oh man, recommended for you. Absolutely, I love Slay the Spire, but I haven't touched it in years. But I still never beat the heart with the Watcher. I think that was the last character, was the monk, like the martial artist character. I don't know how you beat the heart with the monk, I'll be honest. I was like, I got to that point several times and then always had my skull cracked in. But those are all things we can talk about on the Discord, which, by the way, if you stuck around this far, thank you so much for hanging out on stream. I'm Wolf Scott, your host and game master. This is Level 1 Adventuring. We are a role-playing game channel, both video and TTRPG. This has been Rune. I'm going to put the solo. This is Rune by Spencer Campbell. This is a Souls-like solo RPG. So if you like Souls-like games, if you like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, this is definitely right up your alley. It completely replicates that experience, just in a tabletop format with some dice you can play on your own. Tons of content just from the get. So I highly recommend. I had a lot of fun. Obviously, chat really likes it. They're asking for more of it. So if you're like... If by some miracle you're just sort of tuning in now, this is what we've been playing, and I highly recommend you play it. But once again, plugging all of our socials, please join the Discord. It's where we're going to talk about all the games that are coming up next. It's where we're going to talk about the D&D campaign, which runs Wednesdays. It's been ongoing for a couple months now. Level 2 heading on to 3. And we already have lots of great memes and fan art in the Discord. The Discord is also going to become a 5th edition community role-playing space. So you'll be able to play 5e with the rest of the community, which will be really fun. Play by post. So we got a lot of stuff cooking for it. I'm very excited for the Discord. So please join it if you've not already done so. And also, I mean, this is a big stretch, but if you're on YouTube and you've watched all 2.5 hours of this, throw us a subscribe. Oh yeah, look, join the Discord. Look at Streamlabs kicking our Discord link. If you, yeah, it's true, that's where all the cool kids are, us being the cool kids. I wish that I could be like the cool kids. YouTube, yeah, please throw us a like on there if you haven't already. I'd really like to build our YouTube out a bit more. I know that the same kind of content that works on Twitch doesn't really work on YouTube. I'm gonna have to probably revamp it some way. We're all working our way towards that, but we'd appreciate your like there. And all the rest of our previous episodes, like if you want to watch the 5th edition campaign, but you're like, you're 9 episodes in, where do I start? Go to the YouTube. It has everything from episode 1 onward, so you can get all caught up. But with that being said, I thank you all for your time and your energy. You are all so wonderful for sitting here and playing with us tonight, watching our game. I am so happy every time I see people chatting. Edited clips prob, yeah. I've been throwing some shorts onto YouTube. I've been editing the people who... Oh! I should mention this too, because I've been giving loyalty points out for people who are clipping things. The end of the month is tomorrow, so I'll be announcing the winners of the loyalty point giveaway. Highest points is going to get a free sub, courtesy of me. You're welcome. Second place is going to get a bunch of... what's the word? Their loyalty points refunded back to them, so it gives them like a better chance of getting first next time. I think that'll be fun. Make a little rivalry. And then I think for third place, I'm gonna give people a few of those dragon coins, which let people mess with the stream mascot, which lets you play with beans for free. I think that'll be fun. We all know Mochi's winning. I don't know. Ailing, you've been submitting a lot of clips. Yeah, I've been throwing the shorts up on YouTube, which actually some of them have been doing really well. But you know, YouTube also likes longer form content. They love those 5 to 10 minute videos, which, would take a lot more editing, so we're figuring that out. But no matter where you join us, whether it's here live on Twitch, whether you see us on YouTube, or you're joining us on the Discord, know that you're very much appreciated by me and the rest of the gang here at Level 1 Adventuring. I think I plugged just about all that I can plug and said all of the gratitudes that I can say. Once again, Rune by Spencer Campbell. Please play it. Please check it out. Support small indie developers, solo RPG developers. There are so many wonderful... oh, yeah, and TikTok. Yeah. Well, actually, if you follow... Our link tree is linked. It has everything. But I'm also pushing things out to TikTok as well. So follow us there. Lots of little goofs. A lot of little gaffs and goofs. But yeah, definitely trying to build up that community as well. There's so much to do. No one told me that when I was starting a role-playing stream community that I'd also be a social media manager and an editor and a... No one told me I had to do 10 jobs. That's alright, I'll do them. I'm a glutton for punishment. And also I just like hanging out with people and all the reacts we get. It's a fun time. But with that all being said, I got a cat over here who wants to cuddle me, and I want to cuddle her back, poor baby. I thank you all for your time and your energy. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. We're going to be doing something tomorrow. Maybe Notorious, maybe finishing off the Notorious bounty hunt, because we were really close last stream. Hopefully that'll take us to time. And then Wednesday, I think we're going to do Fall of Magic again. So we'll have some more collaborative storytelling with the rest of the Level 1 gang. And I can't wait to see y'all there. So have a good night, get some good rest, behave yourselves as best you can, although knowing our chat, that is asking a lot. And we will see you soon. Be well, sleep well. You're the best.